Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome back to the daily forecast for Saturday, April 27th, 2024. Happy Saturn today. We are in the Taurus season at the Celtic tree month of Willow, and we are in a waning moon. So our astrology for today, we have the sun in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. The moon in third quarter Sagittarius, mutable fire, representing optimism. Mercury in Aries, cardinal fire, representing alertness. Venus in Aries, cardinal fire, representing being impulsive. Mars in Pisces, mutable water, representing curiosity. Jupiter in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. Saturn in Pisces, mutable water, representing nostalgia. Uranus in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune in Pisces, mutable water, representing imagination. Pluto in Aquarius, fixed air, representing reformation. There it goes. And the moon is a waning gibbous, so think releasing all that which does not serve and show expressions of gratitude for the goodness that you have received into your life. We are in a Sagittarius moon, so do converse, be conversational, be philosophical, get outside, don't get trapped in cramped spaces, don't give or take unsolicited advice, and don't bicker and fight just to bicker and fight. So on this day of Saturn, now that the recent Mercury retrograde is over, we have a plethora of consequences to examine because all sorts of stuff got jumbled. We probably found skeletons in our closet that we never realized were there, but now they're out on the floor, they're out in the open, and we have to decide what to do with all of these issues that have been brought up and, probably need to be dealt with if we haven't already. And the questions of what have we learned? Are we going to change for the better? Are we going to allow these lessons to repeat because we resisted them? I think it's important to remember, and I'm sure most of us have observed this in our life, that when someone doesn't learn their lesson, they tend to get that lesson over and over and over again. Now, this isn't special persecution of the universe towards that person. Rather, it's because they are engaging in the same sequence of actions. They are, essentially getting the same kind of results. And, it'd be like, I planted apple trees over and over again. I can't imagine why I'm not harvesting oranges. Well, dear, you didn't plant oranges, did you? And it's the exact same principle with our behavior in every other aspect of our life. We can only harvest that which we plant. So when we learn our lessons, that allows us an opportunity to plant different seeds and thereby cultivate different results for ourselves. And that's a really good thing to take from all of the retrogrades, particularly the Mercury retrograde, because it happens many times a year each year. Hopefully you've taken this opportunity to reorganize your internal closet and things are just in a better state for you. But that can only happen if you did indeed learn the lessons that were attempted to teach. Now, today's tarot card is the Ace of Bows, the spark of life. In order to gain the benefit of this energy, we must cultivate our inner flame. We must nurture relationships, and we must take on our role as being good stewards of nature. Not lunatic catastrophists, not people who have a hatred for their own species, not people who think that every, action we take, is a disaster for the planet. Rather, it is about learning to be cleaner, learning to be tidier, and essentially doing our part to not be wasteful without turning into a crazy person. These are the things we need to cultivate. And of course, the challenge is follow through. And, I also, in addition to the challenge of following through with all of this, I think it's also learning to block out unhelpful influences, learning not to take them seriously. Today's Celtic Triad reads, 3 things which the ill-minded gain: hatred, strife, and sorrow. So hatred, the mindset is that a person has is the precursor for their behavior, and after their behavior is manifested, that will culminate in other people's response to that. So, of course, if you are very ill-minded, if you go through the world with really bad intentions, if you have hatred in your heart, you are going to receive hatred in your return. And the same with strife. You sow the seeds of the wind, you will reap the whirlwind. If you are causing problems, you will get problems in your turn. And then it's with sorrow. If you are constantly sad, if you're constantly depressed, if you're constantly angry about it, and you have a nasty attitude about the difficulties of life, This never made anyone happy. It's never improved anyone's life. And after a while, people are just, they get worn out with it. They get worn out with it because it isn't something that you are experiencing sorrow, or that you're experiencing, frustration with your circumstances. Is that you're living there. It's not a state of being. It's not a moment in time. It is your residence, and that you keep getting more entrenched into that. And of course, that drives away good relationships. So, you would then have the sorrow of, fewer people in your circle who care about you. So definitely things to try to avoid if we possibly can. All right. Now, today's magical intention is guidance. For that, we have the color brown, the wormwood plant, cattle for the animal, and the starlight crystal. So in times of chaos, which this is, it is prudent to look for guidance. And we will find that guidance through the divine, which manifests itself in nature and through our own intuition. So looking at the lessons and looking at the patterns of nature around us, learning to read that language, trusting our intuition, being able to distinguish our intuition from our hopes or our fears, because those are separate things. But relying upon that and, letting that sort out our steps, listening to that inner voice to determine, should I go to the left or should I go to the right? Should I go forward? Should I go backwards? What should I do? Listening for those little cues that will ultimately culminate in better outcomes for us. For our daily practices, today is a good day to honor a deity known for sound judgment. Go ahead and assess your spiritual practice and determine whether or not it serves your needs. It's just good to periodically do that throughout the year because sometimes, whenever, it's Samhain or the calendar new year, we have all these great plans. We have these ideas and things we want to try, but then, we don't necessarily follow through and as I go, okay, has this really served the purpose that I thought it would? Has it worked out very well? Did this turn out to be practical? Or am I not in the right chapter of my life to be doing this particular thing? Just to looking back and seeing what you're getting out of it, what you're not getting out of it, so you can start fine-tuning your choices. That's just going to be generally beneficial. So a couple times a year, it's just good to do. You might tidy and refresh your altar. And then if you're doing some meditation, you might think about consequences and turning points. And then finish your project. Finish something. We always, a lot of us have a lot of projects going all the time, but there's just that beautiful, blissful moment when something is finished. And of course, if we have spouses who aren't necessarily project-oriented people, finishing something, it can be greatly reassuring and calming for their nerves. Our fae of the day are knockers. And if your brain went to a different place other than the creature from Cornish folklore, kindly readjust your train of thought to what is actually being referred to. So for the journal prompt, when you are digging deep during your meditations, have you ever been guided by a being like the knockers who lead you to a good place within your soul to mine? That's actually what they were known to be doing, for making little knocking noises to communicate certain things to Scotsmen who were working in the mines. So do you feel like you have ever been guided in a particular direction to go deeper within your soul to gain a better understanding of something? And, could that have perhaps been a manifestation of the knockers? Something to think about today. And that's what I've got for you, gang. Come back again tomorrow for another edition of the Daily Forecast. In the meantime, let me know what you thought of this one in the comments below, or send me an email at brigantiablackbird@protonmail.com, and I'd be happy to chat with you there. But that'll do it for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.